Welcome back to Fox and Friends. Each year, Americans fork over billions and billions of dollars in federal taxes. And if you wonder where all that money goes, you're not alone. Well, now, perhaps you could get a receipt from the White House. But our next guest wants to make sure you know where every penny goes. Here to explain is Democratic Congressman of Washington State, Jim McDermott. Congressman, thanks for getting up so early there in the home of the Space Needle, Seattle.
Good morning, Steve.
Okay, you reintroduced on April 15th the Taxpayer Receipt Act. What would that do?
That would put into law a requirement that every year people would receive a statement, a receipt from the government for the money that they have paid in taxes, and they would be told in what categories that money was spent, whether it was spent for Social Security or for defense or for the environment, or for education, or for whatever. We wanted to use apolitical things. We weren't trying to send some kind of message. We just want people to have actual information, because one of the interesting things about this debate we're now having about the budget is 60% of the people in the United States think that between 20 and 30% of our money goes to foreign aid, when in fact, the foreign aid part of the budget is less than 0.5%. So we think that transparency and giving people information will make the debate much more sensible, because then people will at least be arguing about the same set of facts.
Sure, that, you know, it's like the old saying, follow the money. That way you can see how much goes to Social Security. You can see how much is going to the wars in Afghanistan and wherever else we're involved in military conflict. Sure, and one of the things the president, listening to him last week, where he would be going after is the rich, the most successful people in the country. He would really like to increase the amount of taxes they pay. He's kicking off his Shared Responsibility and Prosperity Tour. It's going to be out on the West Coast. Here, I want your reaction to it, but first, here's one of your colleagues from Wisconsin, Paul Ryan, on his reaction to any tax increase right now.
Raising tax rates on anybody, especially successful small businesses, slows down the economy, loses jobs, and if you have lower economic growth, you have less revenues, and it puts you further behind. We want more tax revenues, but we want to get it by expanding job creation, by expanding economic growth.
Well, I think you would like to say that you would like to expand job growth as well, but do you think that one good way to close a budget gap is to, you know, soak the rich?
Well, certainly everybody should pay their fair share. And for people to be making $250,000 or more, or millionaires and above, and getting a tax break in a time like this makes no sense. We need the money to invest not only in education, but also in infrastructure. If a bridge falls down, the government has no money to rebuild it. We not only don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the jobs. So in many ways, you have to look at the people at the top who are, by and large, doing okay. If you're getting $1 million a year in income, you're not in very much trouble, and you can pay something to help the country make it.
All right. Interesting stuff. Congressman Jim McDermott, a Democrat from the great state of Washington. Thank you, sir, for getting up so early for us.
My pleasure.
All right.